Tool versus Days of the New, 180 albums matchup in the 360 Albums Tourney. Now, I have literally been like doing a tug of war or on a seesaw with this matchup for about a week and a half, just really wrestling with it. Now, Tool is the AENEMA album, and Days of the New is Days of the New. Of course it's Days of the New. I think they put out 4 or 5 or 6 albums, and they're all named Days of the New, and they all had some sort of similar looking tree on the cover. So, the Tool album, I'm a big Tool fan. I mean, who's not? It's progressive metal with lots of strangeness during interludes and intermissions. Between some of the songs, when the songs are playing without the strangeness, they're super strong, engaging, and powerful and interesting. The Tool album doesn't do terribly well on shuffle, but when you listen to it straight through, you can tolerate some of the strange filler songs a little more. I don't know if it's a concept album. You probably have to be Maynard James Keenan's brain to know the concept, or Carrie's brain. I don't know whose brain. It's going up against Days of the New. Days of the New, probably considered a grunge band. There are moments on this album that remind me of Alice in Chains vocalist Lane Staley more than just about anybody else. Actually, probably more than anyone else. And it's not in a cover band kind of way like Godsmack, and it's not in a sycophantic kind of way. It seems fairly authentic. I think some of the things that Lane partook of to help cultivate his voice, Travis Meeks probably also partook, in addition to other things. Lane Staley, despite being one of the best vocalists of all times, definitely battled with a host of demons and substances, and Travis has as well. And I don't need to go into his biography or whatnot, but this Days of the New album is very interesting to me. Where I Stand, that song, I was driving home one day, and it just sounded so powerful. There were lots of nuanced things in the production, and I don't know if I've said it yet or not, I've thought it, but this Days of the New album, at times especially, reminds me of like Jar of Flies era Alice in Chains, but it doesn't sound like a copycat. It doesn't sound like they're trying to sound like that. It's just, if there are eras of Alice in Chains that it reminds me of, it'd be like Sap and Jar of Flies. I guess the EP eras of Alice in Chains. It's got a couple of the hits from Days of the New are on this album. And despite me being a huge Tool fan, I'm going to advance Days of the New to the round of 90 albums in the 360 Albums Tourney. It's not as heavy as the Tool album by any stretch, but it's interesting. And it's not necessarily consistent. Like, I don't feel like they're just trying to parrot Alice in Chains, because the instrumentation can be varied. The lyrical themes can kind of be surface level, but there's some interesting stuff. And actually, the bonus track on this Days of the New album, the B song, I'll let you look up to see what B is, and it has nothing to do with female dogs. Well, it might, but it's a different word. The B song actually sounds like it could be on the Tool album. Just check it out. Check out the bonus track for you Tool fans, and tell me, do you think it would fit onto AENEMA? So, all the Tool fans are going to give me grief, but that's all right. I have thick skin, and the Tool fans haven't watched this far anyway. Probably only, 2 to 5 people on the planet will watch this video as far as it's gone, and I'll be one of them. So, if you do it, then there's at least 2 of us, so we've hit the bare minimum. So, if Advancing around 90 albums, 360 albums tourney. If you just fast forward to this point, you don't know. Cheers.